So I had this question, right? How good is America's internet? Like, for real. I wanted to find the official report card, the actual hard data. And I figured, hey, let's go find the government agency that handles all this stuff. And my very first stop, well, it was this. Yup, page not found. The classic 404 error. Just a total digital dead end. My hunt for America's internet data basically hit a brick wall before it even began. And you know that feeling, right? That little sigh of frustration where you're just like, well, now what? But instead of just closing the tab and giving up, something made me stop. I actually got kind of curious. I started thinking, what if this isn't just a mistake? What if this page not found message is actually a clue? The start of a way more interesting story. And it turns out, that's exactly what it was. This broken link became the first thread in this wild digital investigation into the very system that's supposed to be tracking our internet. So, okay, instead of bailing, let's do something different. We're going to treat this page like an archaeological find, like an artifact. We're going to dust it for clues and see what secrets are hiding right here in plain sight on a page that literally says there's nothing to see. And believe it or not, the error page itself gives us our first leads. See this? It says we've been upgrading our site. Okay, so we know things have probably moved. It even gives us a little reminder that .gov means it's official and the little lock icon means it's secure. But then, bam, the biggest clue of all, a name, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. Okay, now we have a name. That's our prime suspect. All right, so we've got a name, the NTIA. This is where our little investigation kicks into phase 2. Who are these guys? What do they actually do? And why are they the ones holding the keys to all the data we were originally looking for? It's time to pull back the curtain. So, on paper, the NTIA is the president's principal advisor on all things telecommunications and information policy. And let me tell you, that is a huge job. We're not talking about some tiny little office tucked away in a basement. No, this is the core federal agency that's shaping basically everything from your cell service to your home internet.
But what does advising the president even mean in the real world, day to day? Once you start digging into it, you realize just how massive this agency's responsibilities really are. It's way, way more than just writing up a few reports.
And this is where it gets super interesting. Just by poking around their new website, looking at the menu, you can start to piece together the whole structure of the NTIA. I mean, look at this. They have an office just for managing the nation's airwaves. That's your cell signal. Another one for internet connectivity and growth, basically getting everyone online. They even have a high-tech science lab out in Colorado. This thing is a massive operation. Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the structure, we can start to map out what their actual mission is. And if we can figure that out, we can finally get back to what we were looking for in the first place, that hidden treasure, the data. So when you take all those different offices and programs and kind of group them together, you start to see these big categories pop up. You've got internet policy, which makes sense, but then there's spectrum management. That's literally controlling the invisible airwaves that your phone's 5G signal travels on. And they even handle public safety stuff like communications for firefighters and paramedics. Their reach is just enormous. And this is where it all gets real. You can draw a straight line from their policy goals to actual concrete action. So a big idea like high-speed internet for all isn't just some nice-sounding phrase. Nope, it's backed by billions of dollars in huge funding programs like the BEAD program you see here. This proves they aren't just advising people. They are actively out there building and funding America's digital infrastructure. And think about it, right? An agency that's spending billions of dollars to build out the internet, they don't just cross their fingers and hope it's working. Of course not. They measure it, they track it, they collect a ton of data on it. And there it is. Boom. It was hiding in their site menu the whole time. A section literally called Data Central. This is it. This is the motherlode. This is exactly what we were searching for from the very beginning. Broadband availability data, internet use surveys, everything. The official report card on America's internet, it's all built from the research that happens right here, in this agency. So let's take a step back for a second. We never actually found that original broken page we were looking for. But what we found instead, it might actually be way more important. It's all about perspective. Remember, we started out just looking for one simple thing, a report, an answer. But this whole journey led us to something so much deeper. We didn't just find a number on a page. We found the entire complex system that creates that number.
We found the architects of the very thing we wanted to measure.
Look, I know it sounds like a total cliche, but the journey was the destination. In this case, it's 100% true. The process of just digging into that broken link told us so much more about America's internet than any single report ever could have. And that really just leaves me with one final question for you. The next time you're online and you hit a 404 error or some digital dead end, maybe don't just close the tab. Maybe, just maybe, you're at the beginning of a way more interesting story. What other clues about our world are just hiding out there in plain sight, waiting for you to find them?